Hi folks, this is video number 136 and the title is A Seventh Special Event. If you've been following along, I have a group of 6 videos titled Special Events 1 through 6. And I'm pretty much run out of short stories from my previous years. This is a current one that occurred in August 2019, just a couple weeks ago. Most of my house is closed off. There are 2 bedrooms and a large living room that are closed off. It costs over $3,000 a year to heat this 160-year-old house. This house is about 20 years older than Fleetville, which was established in 1883. Living alone, I figured that I can only be in one room at a time, and it makes sense that to save money, it should be the same room. So I closed everything off and lived between the dining room, kitchen, and bathroom. Things are pretty compact. I made some racks for clothes. There's my great-grandmother's dresser, a twin bed, a large recliner, and a small homemade desk. There's also a kitchen base cabinet, a few containers for other storage. It's pretty compact, but it's easy to heat the 3 rooms. On August 4th, I was sitting at the laptop reading my mail. All at once, I got a terrible stomach pain. I thought it was gas. I got up and walked around some, but it got worse. I was now out in the kitchen. The pain increased all across my stomach area. Having been dropped by tremendous pain in the past, I realized I was going to go down. I did not want to land on my face, so I grabbed a cheap plastic put-together shelf. A controlled fall is better. The cheap shelf fell apart as I put my weight on it and tipped over with me. I went down like a bag of rocks and had no strength whatsoever. I was around 1 p.m. I was flat on the floor and had absolutely no strength. I felt like a wet piece of paper at best. I had to get to my phone. I thought it was on the bed. The bed being right next to my chair makes a good active shelf during the day. It took me about 4 hours to cover the 10 feet to my chair. Then I had to muster the strength to pull myself up to get into the chair. It took a number of tries by grabbing the material and doing a very limited pull-up. Getting one knee under me at a time and being able to reach farther back into the chair for a grip, I was finally able to stand. I still had no strength and had to hang on. I laid into the chair and struggled to flip over. After a few tries, I finally did it. I was now balancing myself at the front of the seat. I was sure my phone was on the bed somewhere under the blankets. I'm not the neatest guy on the planet, and the blankets were just in a bunch. That presented a real problem. I was struggling to stay up. I tried to lift the blankets with my left hand and arm, but could not do it. I had to find my phone, but dared no move, as I knew I'd fall back down. I had no choice. I bowed my head. I usually talk directly to my angel when I need him. This time I asked the Lord to give my angel permission to help me. Then I talked to my angel. I said something like this: Angel, I know you're watching, and you know I'm in serious trouble. I really need your help. I need my phone so I can get the ambulance. Thank you, Lord, and thank you, Angel, for all you've done. I opened my eyes and raised my head, and this is what I saw. There was my 6 or 7-year-old little flippy phone in its ratty brown case, sitting on my laptop keyboard. It wasn't there when I closed my eyes and bowed my head. This is kind of similar to the special event around my keys when we were in Missouri. I thanked my angel and the Lord and called 911. The ambulance crew got here, but they couldn't get me up. I couldn't help them either. They called for the fire company to assist. A couple firemen came and they all together got me up and put me in a little chair with 4-inch wheels. They took me out the back door and down the steps like a refrigerator. Bump, bump, bump. When they got me into the ambulance, it was about 7:30 p.m. The next day I received a stent in a duct near my liver. Apparently my liver was inflamed too. I get the stent out in about a month. The next day they took out my gallbladder. I spent a week in intensive care, a week in a regular room, and 10 days in rehabilitation. After talking to a number of people who have had their gallbladders removed, and hearing they only spent 1 or 2 days in the hospital, the statement of one of my doctors became more clear. Early on, one of the doctors told me I had 2 different blood infections at the same time. How that happens, I'm not totally sure. When the gallbladder goes bad, it draws bacteria out of the intestines and it gets circulated in the bloodstream. When I was getting ready to get transported to rehab at Abington Manor in Clark Summit, one of the doctors came in to wish me well. At that time, he told me that the blood infection I had, more often than not, kills people. Thank you, Lord, and thank you, Angel. Before I sign off on this one, I want to thank Karen and Louie's son, Tommy. Tommy served in the Air Force as a nurse in a few different venues, and I've known him since he's about 3 or 4 years old. I was sure glad to see him when he rolled me into Tyler emergency room. I knew I was in good hands. And I knew I was in a lot of trouble when he told me I was too sick to stay there. They transported me to Regional, which was also the old Scranton Mercy Hospital. I went there because they saved my life when I had that spider bite that almost killed me. And they pulled Dad through pretty good with his 2 heart attacks years ago. Well, you go where your score is pretty high. CMC is too, but I've been to Regional. I know what they do. Well, that's the end of this escapade, folks, and how it came about. As usual, I wish everyone all the best.